Down from South Florida.
What is pain? What is fatigue? Will you ever quit?
No, we want some more. We want some more. We want some more. Hey, hey.
That's what championship teams do, because it ain't always easy. Find a way, do whatever it takes, and I will not fail.
Hey, I'm Gavin DeGraw. You're watching the ACC Network. Who will be crowned this year's champion?
We are the champions, setting it off again. Oh, we on fire, running our own campaign with the whole shebang. Oh, we on fire, how did they go? And nothing's gonna be the same.
It's homecoming in South Florida, and here come the Miami Hurricanes. There's a lot on the line today, and the Hurricanes know it. They've been playing well and expect even more here this afternoon against the Tar Heels of North Carolina. When you look at the Coastal Division, these two teams very much in the hunt, but there's a lot at stake this weekend. Now, Duke is in first place with a 2-1 record, but 5 teams have 2 losses, 1 back. And it's an elimination game between Miami and North Carolina because one of these teams will get their 3rd loss today and be on the outside looking in. And hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brandt along with Dave Archer. Glad to have you along. When you look at North Carolina, strong ball club. You look at Miami, you think Duke Johnson, great running back.
Absolutely. He's the career all-purpose yards leader in Miami history. He's coming in off 4 consecutive 100-yard games. And you talk to the Miami coaches, what do you want to see out of Duke? We'd like to see Duke touch the ball 25 to 30 times in the game. Well, that workload proved to be devastating for the Hokies 10 days ago when he touched the ball 31 times for 287 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the guy that facilitated all that, not a senior, a freshman quarterback. Brad Kaya has been outstanding, taking care of the football, 2nd among freshman quarterback in the country at throwing the football, and he is playing like a senior, but he's a freshman.
The North Carolina Tar Heels got a big win last weekend against Virginia in Charlottesville. They come down here. Boy, they've got a good quarterback as well, Marquise Williams.
He's the true epitome of a dual-threat quarterback. Marquise Williams, 6th all-time in Tar Heel history in total offense. His ability to run the football, in fact, 14 rushing touchdowns, is #1 in North Carolina history, rushing quarterback touchdowns. He has been very good throwing the football as well, throwing the ball deep, making big plays down the field. Outstanding football player. And the guy that's been making the plays down the field is that guy, Mac Hollins. Huge game last week. 2 catches, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Look for him to make some plays for the Heels.
So how do you stop those Tar Heels? Well, Rachel Barbeau down on the field with us. She has Denzel Perryman, the guy.
Oh, yeah, guys, that's a name you're going to call a bunch today, Denzel Perryman. I had a chance to talk to him this week, and he told me about delivering the big hit. He said, Rachel, there's a second just before I deliver that hit where my adrenaline courses. I get low. I use that energy from the adrenaline to load into the hit. And he said that is the biggest deal on a wide receiver or running back. And that, guys, is why he's landed on the Butkus Award semifinalist list.
Well, Rachel, it sounds a lot like we're here on South Beach. If you get a little too far offshore, there's a shark waiting for you. The shark is right here at Sun Life Stadium, and it's Denzel Perryman.
Miami won the toss and deferred. Carolina will get it first. ACC football is brought to you in high definition by your local Tire Pros dealer. Win tires, wheels, and a trip for 2 to the ACC championship game at theacc.com/TirePros. Damian Washington will be the return guy for Carolina. We'll see if they kick it to him. This will be Romar Morris. Romar Morris finds a crease and takes it across the 25-yard line, but he's hit hard there. Here are the starting lineups, and they're brought to you by Food Lion.
You look at this North Carolina offense. You look at Quinshot Davis. You look at T.J. Logan. Arian Smith getting his first start. Lucas Crowley will not go. But Quinshot Davis talked about the wide receiver, 6'4", outstanding target outside for Marquise Williams. And there is Arian Smith getting the start today. Lucas Crowley hurt a week ago against Virginia, and the youngster will play.
Crowley has a bad ankle. This is getting it to their speedster right out of the gates, Ryan Switzer. And Switzer finds a few out there, a handful across the 30-yard line. Defensively, take a look at Miami.
Well, Miami's defense, a lot of speed on the defense. Anthony Chicklow has been here for a long time at defensive line. Delius Guntler had a return for a touchdown on a blocked field goal, but it's Denzel Perryman in the middle.
Pick up 2 more to Switzer. He's had the ball the first 2 plays here. Defensively, Miami has allowed only 93 yards rushing the last 2 games.
This North Carolina offense wants to move fast. They want to control the tempo. They will ebb and flow between fast and super fast, but 77 plays per game, number 2 in the ACC.
3rd down and 3. This is Morris. They'll move the chains. Denzel Perryman makes the tackle.
Well, Perryman is a sideline-to-sideline player. Rachel talked about his ability to get to the football, and here it is. Lined up on the opposite side of the field, going to come across and make the hit.
Everything's quick in this offense. Again, they go to the outside. That's Mac Hollins, and Hollins runs out of bounds after a handful of yards. Run out there by Artie Burns. This is an up-tempo attack.
Yeah, and it's not lost on North Carolina that Miami's fast on defense, so they'd like to get the ball out of the hands of Marquise Williams.
And Marquise Williams is hit, and he's sacked by Artie Burns. They came on the corner sack, the corner blitz, and he got there.
Corner fire, exactly right, Tim. Going to come from the top of the screen. Missing the block was the back. Had it set up, and Marquise probably felt like his back was going to pick that up for him. That's why he set up to throw it. But a good job by Burns to snake by the back and put the hit on the quarterback.
3rd down again for Carolina. Williams has time, steps up in the cradle and throws deep, but way out of bounds. Carolina will have to punt it away.
It's something we've seen from Miami's defense here in the last few weeks as they've become more about what you normally used to see from Miami. Aggressive, in-your-face style of defense, playing bump and run on the outside and blitzing the quarterback.
So the Canes win the first possession. Tommy Hibbert will punt it. And Stacy Coley is some kind of dangerous, standing at the 19. He'll try to kick it away from him, but he'll chase it down. And he fair catches it just across the 15-yard line. Well, here we go with the Food Line starting lineups. First for Miami.
Well, Feliciano up front, 42 consecutive starts. He can play on both sides of the tackle. Philip Dorsett, unbelievable speed, averaging 31 yards of reception. And Clive Walford, I think he plays a big role today. He's a next-level tight end. He will be big in their running game. He's an outstanding receiver.
Very, very dangerous down the middle. Leading receiver with 23 catches this year. Reminds some of Jimmy Graham.
Well, he's a more complete tight end. He's a blocker as well, Tim.
Jimmy Graham says he's a wide receiver. First down. They throw it outside. This is Kaya with his first completion of the game. Takes it back inside, picks up a few. There's your guy, Clive Walford, his first catch of the game.
You look at this defense. Nazir Jones is part of that rotation in the defensive front, was outstanding on interception a week ago. Tim Scott moves from corner to free safety, has struggled a little bit with it, but Jeff Schottmer in the middle, been outstanding. He's a double-digit tackle guy. Talking about 2 of the best linebackers in the ACC, and Schottmer and Denzel Perryman going head-to-head today.
2nd down, Canes. Johnson comes way to the bottom of the screen. Gus Edwards still in the backfield.
Wanted to see what that motion would do to North Carolina's secondary. Pull the defender out, so they'll go to the run game.
That's where they head to go with Edwards. He'll be short of the first down. Tackle made by Travis Hughes.
Yeah, Brad Kaya, we talked about him, Tim. He's improving every game. The coaches talk about how this guy is just a sponge for information. He's been good each and every time out. Only 2 turnovers in his last 4 games. That's the thing they like the most about him. Yeah, he's managing the game. He's making some plays. He's not turning the ball over.
Kaya, 4-star prospect out of California. Ranked as a top 10 pro-style quarterback coming out of high school.
They've been horrific on third down, though, Tim. Just 28%.
They've got a first down here and then some. So Duke Johnson's first carry of the ball game, and he's hit by Tim Scott, but after he crossed the chains.
Well, Duke Johnson is a guy you give the football to and just get a hat on your guy and let him slide to daylight. That time Duke got the backside and got enough for the first down. 249 yards rushing 10 days ago against the Hokies, and anybody that follows college football knows running for 249 against a Bud Foster defense is saying something.
Johnson looks for the ball again. Cuts inside. Picks up 4.
I think
Donnie Miles made the tackle.
Excuse me, Tim. I think that the Duke Johnson scenario, people call him a small back. And yes, from a stature size, 5'9", maybe stretch 5'10", about 200, 205 pounds. But he is as tough as nails. He reminds me of a guy that used to play for North Carolina, a guy named Giovanni Bernard.
Wow. High praise there. Second down and long. Carolina jump. Flags fly. Miami takes a shot. It's overthrown.
Boy, good call there, Tim, because Kaya, the freshman, we talked about the veteran savvy. He realized he had a player pulled offside. He took the free shot. Took the shot down the field, incomplete.
Offsides, defense, number 8. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Well, you talked about Duke Johnson. He's the 8th player to go over 1,000 yards here at the U. Look at the last 4 games.
Yeah, and he's been close in the other 4 games as well, but these last 4, and you see the workload has increased significantly. 29 carries against Virginia Tech. He had 25 against Duke here a couple of weeks ago. So Duke Johnson, as the games have gotten more important, the workload has improved or has increased dramatically.
Second down and short. Another first down. Look out. Across midfield and into Carolina territory. That's Gus Edwards finally taken down by Hughes and Smiley, but a big gainer for the U.
Well, you talk about 100 yards. Gus Edwards had 100 yards a week or 2 days ago against Virginia Tech as well. 115 yards on the ground for the sophomore, and he's the change of pace guy. 225 pounds comes in, and he'll pound you straight ahead.
Yeah, he's a big back, good instincts. Lets his eyes move his feet. Johnson comes back into the backfield now with Kaya. First down Canes. Kaya to throw. He does. This is Johnson in the flat. Makes a nice catch on the ball. Stutter steps and slides his way across the 40 and gets a first down.
Well, Jeff Schottmer makes the tackle out in the open field. Good decision by Kaya. As the coverage sank, he dropped the ball off to Duke Johnson, and this is another part of his game that he's outstanding. Great receiver. Ball wasn't great, well thrown, but Duke makes the catch. Schottmer may be fortunate that Duke slipped a little bit there.
This Carolina defense has been gashed the last several weeks. They give up a lot of yardage, give up a lot of points. Really becomes a scoring contest with the Tar Heels. First down Miami. Left side, big hole. And Johnson again with a big run and a first down.
Watch big Nick Linder, 68, going to get out in front. He's going to get a key block right there, rolling on the ground. Duke got in behind that. We talked about Clive Walford and his ability to do a nice job of setting the edge, pins the edge to the inside, and allows Duke Johnson to snake around behind Linder for a big-time pickup as Miami closes in on this red zone. And it has been a problem as they get closer to the goal line. Miami's struggled.
Johnson the setback. He's done most of the damage in this drive. Here he is again. Bounces outside, takes it around the corner, breaks containment and down near the 20. Schottmer again was there along with Lawrence and Stewart.
Again, you get a hat on a hat and let him slide to daylight. You see him slide all the way to the outside to get up the field and get the positive gain. Let's go down to Rachel on Duke Johnson.
Arch, you mentioned his size. I talked to him this week, and he said he likes to do a lot of things on the football field, but he loves to lay that key block on the blitz that will spring a touchdown or gives his quarterback enough time in the pocket to get the throw off. And he said, you know what, I've been criticized my entire career for not being a good enough blocker, and I play with a chip on my shoulder.
Well, Johnson goes out, Yerby comes in, he goes down the middle, and he's down to the 10-yard line. Joe Yerby finally stopped by the safety, Tim Scott, or he was gone.
We had a chance to talk to Al Golden yesterday, and he says, I always kind of hold my breath after practice. He says, we went through a walkthrough last week, get ready for Virginia Tech, and they came and told me that Yerby pulled a hamstring in the walkthrough. He says, you got to be kidding me. So Yerby didn't play a week ago, but he's had a good year as well, backing up behind Duke Johnson.
Well, in this drive, you've seen all three running backs. Duke Johnson comes back into the game. Kaya looks over the middle, and it's incomplete. Knocked away by the linebacker, Jeff Schottmer. Very nicely done. The former walk-on had good position and knocked it away.
Well, when you talk about North Carolina in the red zone, they've been better down in that red zone area defensively than they are in the middle of the field. In fact, they're stopping people at almost 70% of the time. Schottmer, very active in the middle, has good eyes, watches the quarterback and flows. As Vic Koenig, the defensive coordinator, feels like this is where they play their best defense, was when you get in tight.
And movement, this may be against Miami. Timeout, Miami. Before there was any damage, as long as there's timeout on the field, we'll take one as well. Homecoming in South Florida, Halloween weekend brings them all out. So scary and awfully cute. Tar Heels have struggled against the run, so the Canes want to run. And Johnson, Yerby, and Edwards, the three running backs for the Canes, have combined for 53 yards on this drive. This is Johnson now in the backfield with Kaya.
Yeah, a lot about what they're doing at the line of scrimmage, Kaya is doing. They're going checking one side or the other, run to run, and if he sees a situation where North Carolina's crowding the box, he'll take a shot throwing the ball.
Canes have been awfully good on their first drive all season. And here's Johnson down to the 5, inside the 5 and down to the 3. Secondary for Carolina having to make way too many tackles. That was Lawrence and Smiley that kept him short of the goal line.
Yeah, good hard running in between for Duke. Big offensive line coming off the football, and Duke holds in behind. And he's tough to get your arms around. Tremendous lower body drive.
The big back Edwards comes in, 6'2", 230 pounds. Dorsett in motion. Edwards right side. Bulls his way down close to the goal line. Didn't make it. No signal. Time to put on your big boy pads now.
Well, there was not even a blink from Al Golden. He said, keep the offense on the field. Let's punch this in. There was not even a blink.
Across that front, they're 310, 290, 310, 318, 316.
Well, bringing in big Walter Tucker. Plays H-back, fullback for this Miami team. Got the big back and Edwards in the game.
13th play of this drive. Timeout on the field.
We'll take a look and see if Edwards was able to break the plane here. I don't think there's any question. Good. They got a little push there, Tim. It looked like, you know, the old Bush push. Reggie Bush got shoved in the end zone at Notre Dame game, and the offensive line kind of folded behind Edwards trying to push him, and then ultimately North Carolina bows their back and keeps him out. So I didn't think there was a stretch there at the end that allowed him to get in.
Not at all, and that's what the stoppage is. They're reviewing this, but it doesn't look like there's anything clear that even shows that he was close.
In fact, I would say that even the spot they've got is a bit generous.
Should bring up 4th down.
Well, one thing this does, sometimes when you get a stoppage, does a coach think about it?
Review, the rolling on the field stance is called, short of the goal line, 4th down.
So it brings up 4th down, and Miami's 9 of 12 on 4th down conversions this year.
You know, you see it all the time, Tim, when there's a stoppage of play, a timeout, a coach will rethink this and say, hey, let me take the points. Al Golden has not wavered one bit in what he was going to do. You just mentioned 9 of 12 on 4th down, Tim, and they will go here inside the 1.
Duke Johnson comes back into the ball game. Walter Tucker, as you said, will be the lead back.
Duke gives him the ability to go straight ahead, over the top, or bounce to the outside with his quickness.
Johnson looking for his 8th touchdown of the year. Here he is, left side, easy. Walks in untouched. Duke Johnson.
How about the block from Walter Tucker out in front? That cleared the way, Tim. What an outstanding block. You're going to see 44 come straight ahead, just disintegrates the edge defender, and Duke just steps into the end zone. What a block by Tucker as he just swallows up the edge defender.
Made that look easy. Michael Bagley comes on for the extra point. Correction. It is Bagley. It's good. All 3 running backs in that drive. But there's no question who's the hoss. It's Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson big on that drive. All 3 backs touched it. All 3 backs gained positive yardage. But it was Duke Johnson who took it home for his 8th touchdown of the year.
13 plays, 84 yards, 8 up 7-10 on the clock. An excellent job by Brad Kaya getting them in and out of plays, featuring all their running backs, just sprinkled the pass in. Excellent drive to open the game for Miami.
Damian Washington watches this one go through the end zone for a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. Coral Gables looks spectacular today. We'll be back after this word from your local ACC station. And our Carolina Ford keys to the game look like this.
Well, North Carolina wants big plays on the offensive side of the football, but more importantly, they want to eliminate Miami's big plays on their side when they've got the football. For Miami, it's how do you serve the Duke, get the Duke the football. Touched it 31 times, as we talked about 10 days ago, and he's the guy that's going to get the football 2 a ton.
This is left side TJ Logan, and he's around the corner for 5 or 6 yards. Carolina's led the league in points per game. They average 37 an outing. Cornelder gets credit for the tackle there.
And Logan had some success a year ago. Touched the ball 6 times, had 61 yards rushing, got great speed.
Marquise has trouble. He's got company and goes down. His 2nd sack of the game. He got hit hard at Virginia last week and still bruised from that. Cornelder came again.
Came off the blitz off the right side of your screen. Here comes Cornelder, and nobody accounts for him in the protection. And that's the 2nd time a defensive back for Miami has been aggressive and gotten after the quarterback.
Artie Burns got a sack earlier. Cornelder this time. Elders come
After
twice.
The play, personal foul, number 11 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Michael Weish flagged for a little bit extra after the play.
Boy, and if there's one thing Al Golden talks about, it's the mental aspect of this game, and they've been limiting mental errors defensively. They're getting better, but there's one right there.
Well, Tim, these are the 2 most penalized teams in the ACC as far as yards go. They have really hurt themselves with penalties.
So it'll be first down Carolina with excellent field position for Marquise Williams. Rolls out of there, buys some time, throws it complete to Switzer. Switzer's to the 44-yard line. Denzel Perryman is there to make the tackle. He's all over the field.
Yeah, good initial job by Miami to take away the quick throws. They wanted to get the ball out of Marquise Williams' hands quickly there, but Miami did a good job of jamming about 2 or 3 yards down the field.
Williams now 4 for 5, make it 5 for 6, and again he goes to Switzer.
Deion Bush does a good job. The safety comes up and makes the play on the screen. This is a Miami team that is getting back to who they used to be, and that's being able to run and get to the football.
Average a play every 19 seconds. Williams taking a little more time here. More pressure and incomplete. Boy, the pressure came from Darian Owens. Virtually untouched up the middle.
Well, Miami's doing a really good job of kind of delay blitzing with their linebackers, and this time Owens just kind of sits for a second, and then here he comes, and they lose him in protection. Excellent job by Owens to time it up and really forced a poor throw from Marquise Williams. So they've got Marquise with his head on a swivel a little bit. He's not sure where they're coming from.
Yeah, no question about that. He feels them. Tommy Hibbert is in to punt. Stacy Coley will watch this go all the way inside the 10, hit at the 6, and go out of bounds at about the 1.5.
Wow. The old coffin corner, Tim. That's the way you used to kick it.
I didn't know if a football was pumped or stuffed. Hey, football fans are enjoying Bojangles chicken all around the Atlantic Coast Conference today. It's bow time at Bojangles. Tailgate everything with a big bow box filled with Bojangles chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. Remember, it's always bow time when you're tailgating in the ACC.
Well, now here's an opportunity now for North Carolina to pay off their special teams by trying to get a stop defensively, flip the field, and put their offense back on the field near midfield. But you got to get a stop right here.
Johnson cuts back. Look at the cut. Out to the 10-yard line and across to the 11. Jeff Schottmer had to make the tackle, but Gus Johnson, he hits the hole quickly and just explodes.
Well, Duke is the best at sliding to daylight. This time he's going to follow Tucker, the fullback. It was the design cutback all the way, get in behind the fullback, and he shoves it out 9 yards.
Second and short, Tucker again in front of Johnson. Kyle looks to the sideline, now calls it out. Johnson's got the first.
Well, you look at Duke Johnson when he came into the game. He knew he'd be the featured guy, but how do you get him the football? A lot of different ways. Hand it to him with the great speed, get him behind the big offensive line, throw it out to him. Outstanding receiver, and then you can't find him. Where is he? Smallish back from a size standpoint, height standpoint. But ultimately what he is, he's a finisher. Big-time player, one of the best in the country.
Fourth all-time with 11 100-yard games in his career. Can you imagine if he hadn't broken his ankle last year? The numbers he'd be putting up. Here's play action for Kaya. He's got company. Throws underneath to Walford and just had to unload that one.
A good pressure. Justin Thomason comes in and gets the pressure on the quarterback, and this is what North Carolina needs. They need some exemplary play from their defensive front, and that time Thompson gets a good job getting the pressure on Kaya and forcing the incompletion. Let's go on to Rachel, more on the defense.
Yeah, we talked to UNC defensive coordinator Vic Koenig, and he told us it's raise the praise. That's been the theme with his defense. And I heard him on his bench today saying, we had him stopped. You've got to get him down. Him is Duke Johnson. He does a great job cutting back. It's almost designed, though. Middle linebacker Jeff Schottmer was in on that talk.
Yeah, but there's only 5 other teams in the nation that allow more yards a game than Carolina. They know they've got to get a lot of hats around the football. Took up 3 tough yards, maybe 4. Travis Hughes made the tackle, but he had help.
Well, let's take a look and see what Duke is looking at when he takes the football here. North Carolina defends this pretty well. Duke's going to take the football, wants to slide to the right. He wants to get back in there, but there's nothing there. North Carolina cuts him off. Schottmer slides to the right side, but when you look up, all of a sudden he has 3 or 4 yards. You thought he had him completely cut off. North Carolina defended that pretty well, and he still got 3 yards.
So it brings up 3rd down and long for Brad Kaya. The Canes spread the field, sideline to sideline. Kaya throws complete. This is the tight end Walford. But he's going to be close to that 1st down. It looks like the mark got it for him. Tim Scott made the tackle.
Now here's the
he's got the first.
Yeah, Tim, here's the respect that North Carolina has for Walford. They've got a former corner on him. Safety. Tim Scott's going to pick him up on that out route, but just a good route by Walford, and then fights to make sure he breaks the plane and gets the 1st down. Excellent job understanding where the sticks were and then fighting to make sure he did get there and get the yardage.
Boy, he got a good mark though, Arch. 1st down Miami. Big hole. Johnson again close to a 1st down. Duke Johnson just continues to roll. Haviland Players of the Week. This is exactly what Duke Johnson did last week. 249 yards.
31 touches. He had 287 yards of offense and 2 touchdowns. And, of course, how about Mac Hollins? He's a guy that we're expecting to make some plays today as well. He had the huge play on special teams, recovery of the onside kick a week ago.
Great efficiency. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. Joe Yerby in a tailback now. As you mentioned, Yerby can also get it done. He had 113 yards against Cincinnati. He pulls his way straight ahead for 4. Let's take a timeout, go back and check in with the studio guys in Charlotte, Tom and Tommy.
Time for a Hardy's update. Duke at Pittsburgh. It's the Boone to Crowder combination again in the second quarter.
Tremendous job by Crowder right here. A little bit of contact, maybe a little bit of a push-off, but great concentration by Jamison Crowder.
45 yards, 21 all. What a game. Tim?
All right, Tom, thank you.
We had that game last year, and they're picking up where they left off last year. It was 58-55 in Durham a year ago. So, boy, they just hit the ground running in Pittsburgh.
This is Joe Yerby. Hit immediately. He may have lost a yard. Nazir Jones, who was the defensive most valuable player last week, along with Drennan, made the stop. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Homecoming weekend in Miami Gardens. So far, it's Duke Johnson looking more like the Duke of Earl. First quarter stats brought to you by Bank of America. And Arch, look at the rushing yards. Well, 93-2.
Yeah, the plays is what sticks out at me. North Carolina averages 77 plays a game. You add that up, you don't have to be a mathematician. That's 44 plays for the game. That's well under their average.
Carolina only 2 first downs. Miami for 8. Kaya rolls right. Throws it where only his guy had a chance at it. It was intended for Herb Waters. And defended by Simmons and knocked out of bounds. There is a flag down.
Penalties decline. 4th down.
And so Miami will have to punt it away.
An eligible man downfield. That's the first time we really seen North Carolina kind of force in a drop back situation, force Kaya to kind of come off his main target and scramble and try to make a play. So good job by North Carolina to get off the field and get their offense back on the field.
Well, this will give Ryan Switzer an opportunity as Justin Vogel will punt it away. And there's Switzer. Switzer is extremely dangerous.
5 punt return touchdowns a year ago. All-American as a freshman.
This is a low spiraling punt. They kick it away from Switzer. It hits inside the 10 and goes out of bounds.
How about those two exchange of punts? North Carolina knocks it out inside the 1, and all of a sudden Miami knocks it outside the 10.
Well, take a look at the Ruby Tuesday game menu. Some of the games today, we talked about the shootout going out in Pittsburgh, Duke and Pittsburgh. And of course, Duke has had most of the month of October off because of some scheduling.
Well, first of all, how about Florida State surviving at Louisville down 21-0 and 24-7. Jameis Winston brings his team back, and the number 2 team in the country stays undefeated. And how about Virginia and Georgia Tech here later on this afternoon in what you mentioned, Tim, an elimination type game in the Coastal Division.
Jameis Winston throwing all those interceptions. Not much there, straight ahead. Grace made the tackle.
Really have not gotten it. They haven't been on the field long enough to really get Marquise Williams going. Over his last 3 games, he's averaged 400 yards of offense. He really hadn't been in enough.
Or TJ Logan really hadn't gotten into a rhythm across the 15-yard line.
You know, you look at Marquise Williams over the last 3 games, Tim, averaging almost 320 yards passing and about 85 yards rushing a game, 4 touchdowns. He's been incredible for Larry Fedora.
3rd down. Well defended and knocked away. Picked up. Was the whistle blown? No, incompleted pass, but it was close. Antonio Crawford tattooed him.
Yeah, he dropped the hammer on Austin Prohl in the right flat. Poor throw from Marquise Williams. You got to get this ball in the upfield shoulder and let him run, but it's behind him, and he just tees him up for Antonio Crawford to drop the hammer.
Oh, baby. Austin Prohl, 5'10", a true freshman. And he came hard.
Well, I'm looking at that former defensive player sitting next to me. You got to wipe that slobber off your mouth. You love that, don't you?
Tommy Hibbert comes on to punt it away, and Stacy Coley will have great field position. This ball snapped over Hibbert's head. It's a safety, but there is a flag down. Larry Fedora knows his guys are on the verge of getting blown out of here.
Illegal motion on the offense. Penalties decline. Result of play is a safety.
Safety holds. 9-0 Miami.
Well, you see they were trying to change the protection, and obviously the snapper didn't get the signal that they were going to stop and restart, and snapped it over the head.
Well, what a day this is at homecoming. Defense extremely strong. Offense getting it done as well. 9-0 Canes. Oh, look at the great Jim Kelly, who was the Grand Marshal of the homecoming parade last night. Honorary captain here today. Led some of the biggest victories in Miami football history, and then went on to that tremendous pro career. Great to see Jim Kelly in good health again.
And one of the toughest people I ever saw play the game. So just phenomenally tough, and it transmitted to the team, the guys he played with.
All the Canes today wearing Kelly Tough t-shirts. This is Stacy Coley, and Coley's back into North Carolina territory with that return.
Now that's more like what they're used to seeing from Coley. Now this is the pseudo punt because it comes out of the safety scenario. But Coley a year ago averaged 22 yards of return, including one for a touchdown in that punt return scenario. That was a little bit different because it was more of a kickoff with the punter on the field. But good return by Coley, and now here a short field opportunity for Miami's offense.
Boy, somehow North Carolina just has to weather the storm here because they are really reeling right now. Connor Fry's high snap, of course, for the safety was a major problem. The other biggest problem is stopping Duke Johnson. The defense hadn't been able to do it.
Average yards per play, Miami over 5, and North Carolina under 1 yard per play. That tells you the story.
First down, Canes.
Delay a game on the offense. 5 yards, first down.
That'll drive Al Golden nuts, and he thinks the referee started the clock too early.
Yeah, Al's upset, very upset.
Tire Pros is giving you a chance to win a new set of tires, wheels, and a VIP trip for 2 to the ACC Championship. Check out their Ride in Style sweepstakes, and you could be on your way to an all-expenses-paid trip to the ACC Football Championship. Also get a new set of Continental tires and Monster wheels. Enter today at acc.com/Tire Pros. And look at this. This is a fumble. It's picked up by Carolina and returned for the touchdown.
Well, Mikey Bart comes off the edge to make the hit on Kaya. Kaya never sees him. He thinks he's got protection on his right side, and now the determination will be, does the arm go through? You think Mikey Bart, number 45, going to come off the edge and make the hit? And does the arm start forward, or does the ball go directly to the side? That'll be two things they'll be looking at.
The play is under review. Never did hear a whistle.
Well, and Collins scoops and scores, but take a look at it. Let's see if the arm starts forward. Boy, that one is really close. Now, I think you can eliminate that it's a lateral. Boy, that is such a bang-bang play. Remember, called a fumble on the field, so if there's nothing definitive, and it's really hard, it looks like he's right at the transition stage for the arm to begin to come forward.
Give Casey Collins a lot of credit. Picked it up, never hesitated. Al Golden was upset with the clock management by the referee. Thought he started it too early. That got things a little bit discombobulated. Here's the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
So Collins' touchdown stands. And what a play by Mikey Bart.
Really quick jump off the edge by Bart, got in on the arm of Kaya, and I don't think it looked like he was right in that transition stage, so probably pretty good call by the officials.
Nick Weiler comes on for the extra point attempt, and Carolina is right back in it with that turnover. Good snap, good hold. The kick is left, and no good. How about that? timeout on the field. Here's the play. Carolina's got a new pulse. Well, here in South Florida, North Carolina has a total of 9 yards, but they have 6 points out of it after the turnover. And so it's 9-6 ball game. Nick Weiler will kick off. Stacy Coley and Philip Dorsett are deep for Miami.
Great job by the defense to create an opportunity. Miami in good field position there. And Mikey Bart creates an opportunity to get some cheap points, some points off your defensive side of the football, and really unexpected when you get that kind of boost. Now see if North Carolina can rally with that.
Coley will chase this one to the back line, and he'll go out for a touchback. Today's coverage of ACC football being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the nearly 1 million men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. We're so proud to have you with us and hope you're enjoying the broadcast.
That's Gus Edwards, the running back, big-time running back, big guy, 230 pounds. Going to go in and take a look at him inside. It looked like he was injured on the punt that went over the snap that went over the punter's head. North Carolina, he was rushing and just fell to the ground.
Straight ahead, a pickup of 1. Carolina closes down quickly. Collins again.
Kaya has not been asked to do a whole bunch in this game yet. And I think North Carolina trying to do what they initially wanted to do, and that was stop the run. Didn't do a very good job of it in that opening drive. But since then, have done a better job at corralling the run game. And so now Kaya, the freshman quarterback, going to have to step up and make some plays.
Collins got up shaking his head after hitting Duke Johnson. I know that. Here's a quick outlet to Dorsett. Be 3 yards short of the first. Des Lawrence there. Keep him from getting out to the chains.
Well, a good sure tackle by Des Lawrence. 50 tackles on the year. He's tied with Jeff Schottmer as the leading tackler on this North Carolina team. But just you better tackle these Miami receivers, surely. Because Philip Dorsett, you give him a little bit of daylight, he'll put it in the end zone.
3rd down and 2. Kaya 4 of 7 for 31 yards. Duke Johnson now switches sides. Here's Johnson. Hit at the line of scrimmage. He didn't get there. Justin Thomas had made the tackle. He got there first, and Miami will have to punt it away.
Now, Junior Nkande kind of cuts off the play front side. Number 44 seals it off. You see 44 right there in the middle of your screen, and that made Duke bounce to the backside, and there was nothing there either. So North Carolina doing a really good job of keeping gap integrity and making sure they take care of the responsibilities to take away the run game.
This is Vogel punting it away, and Switzer has to chase it. Gets everybody away from it. It rolls down inside the 10. Down to the 7. There is a flag up on the 25-yard line.
During the kick, illegal block in the back, number 13. That penalty is half the distance from the end of the play. First down.
Well, the Ram Power Play is brought to you by the 2014 Ram 1500. We were there last Saturday. North Carolina traveled to Charlottesville. Big Coastal Division game. Tight affair all game, but the difference was the 2 Marquise Williams to Mac Hollins, including the 57-yarder in the second quarter. What a comeback late in the ball game by the Tar Heels. They go on to beat the Cavaliers 28-27 and stay in the race. That is our Ram Power Play of the day.
Well, I've not heard anything from Mac Hollins today, so that's something they would like to do, is get him involved in the game. He's not in the game right now, and Marquise Williams has been really quiet today. Have not seen him run the ball.
First down, Carolina. Roban Morris bangs it out to about the 9.
Boy, really difficult to run the ball sideline to sideline against Miami. They run and react so well, but really good gain there on the sweep.
Morris stays in the game. Williams looks to the sideline. This is a tempo controlling offense Not necessarily a hurry up. Morris gets a block on the outside, cuts it back in, has the first down. Ladarius Gunter tripped him up, but that was a pretty good gainer.
Well, good job by Armbrister initially. The outside linebacker, number 34, seals it to the outside, but good read by Romar Morris to hit it straight up the field for the first down.
This offense just doesn't allow the defense to substitute the way it would like. There's a big-time play by Denzel Perryman.
A little disconcerting to Romar Morris right there, I believe, when you see Pierre tumbling over the top trying to make a play, and then the disintegrator Denzel Perryman steps in the hole and crushes it.
2nd down and 10. Dangerous. Morris makes the catch, but he was dangling it like bait in front of Perryman.
Well, he was lucky that Armbrister didn't steal this off his hands, but Perryman comes in and dances him off. Here comes Armbrister, 34. He thought about maybe I'll catch the bounce, but then Perryman finishes him off, and here you are, 3rd down. North Carolina converts it about 43% on 3rd down.
They're only 1 for 4 today on 3rd down. Francis comes into the ball game for the Tar Heels. Williams throws underneath. This is Switzer, and he can't get to the sticks.
Well, what a good tackle by Antonio Crawford. We've recalled his name a couple of times today, Tim. If you're going to come with pressure, you better tackle on the back end. Switzer runs the shallow drag. Crawford shadows him all the way and puts him on the ground short of the first down line. That's outstanding defense. Pressure the quarterback under the underneath throw, and then you have to tackle. Nice play by Crawford.
The last snap to the punter went over his head. Here's Hibbert now. Gets off a decent punt. It's like a knuckleball. And it goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Boy, what a pretty day here in South Florida. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC stations. Brad Kaya brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Johnson the setback on 1st down for Miami. Johnson hit right at the line of scrimmage by Travis Hughes. Let's go down to Rachel Barbeau.
Tim, Arch, you mentioned the big man, Gus Edwards for Miami. I saw him come off the field. They were working on his right ankle. They tried to tape it up. He got up, got right on the bike, and then tried to put pressure on it and could not. They took him off on the card, and they will miss him against Virginia Tech. 20 carries for 115 yards.
Yeah, and I imagine they took him in for x-rays just to make sure that they're not working an ankle that has an issue. So they're just going back to make some preliminary looks at it.
Play action to fake to Johnson. Kaya has a man wide open in the flats. And Dobard has a 1st down for Miami and into Carolina territory.
Well, it's a tough catch for Dobard. He's going to go up and get it. Only 1 reception on the year coming into today. But Standish Dobard going to mirror his quarterback on the bootleg. And then watching elevate. Excellent catch on a ball thrown behind him a little bit. Gets up the field and makes a big-time catch for Kaya.
Gus Edwards comes back into the ball game. He goes to the top of your screen. Duke Johnson still the setback. He's got 57 yards on 13 carries.
Well, we have not seen that play action take a shot down the field out of Miami yet.
Here's Johnson. And again, the gang tackling for a gain of 1. Jeff Schottmer got there first, along with a whole host of Tar Heels.
Well, Dominic Green, the safety, is getting up in the mix as well, and so you got to figure they're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Safety's involved. Take a shot.
Our 1st and 10 is brought to you by YP.com. So look at that line. The even more powerful Yellow Pages. One app, one site. YP can do that.
You can bet Al Golden and James Coley are taking a look at what North Carolina's doing in the secondary. Here's the 2 guys they're looking at. Who's getting involved in the run game? Are they creeping an extra guy up? Here he comes up in the run game, and you take a shot.
2nd down and 9. Instead, it's Johnson. Rolls around toward that 1st down marker. Strong stiff arm, and he's got maybe the 1st down. It'll be close. They marked him a yard short. He must have stepped on the line.
This is a formation they used a couple of times against Virginia Tech and had some success with Duke Johnson as the Wildcat quarterback. Going to fake, ride the fake, and then pull it out of there and get some separation. And up comes the safety, Scott. And boy, how about the stiff arm out of Duke?
Brings up 3rd down and short. trying to look at his foot there and see if it touched the line before he crossed that mark. Obviously did.
Yeah, Al Golden's been a little agitated here in the first half. I don't think he liked the spot either, Tim.
I know it's 3rd down and 1. Cuts it outside. Look out. Johnson with a stiff arm again inside the 20.
He's so strong, Tim. They had defenders at the play, and Duke is going to run through the arm tackles. He's just so strong in that lower half and running the football. But here's the back end of the play, and an excellent tackle really by Dominic Green to save the touchdown on Duke Johnson.
Joe Yearby comes into the ball game now. Johnson was slow to get up. Yearby ran for 113 yards against Cincinnati. Here he is, left side. Tiptoes his way across the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Malik Simmons made the tackle there.
And pulling those big guards, Tim. That time Daniel Isadora, the big right guard, getting in front of Yearby, leading him up the field. That's a good positive first down play.
Vic Koenig was telling us the Heels have had trouble tackling and pressuring the quarterback and covering downfield all year.
This is the area of the field where Miami has struggled on offense, Tim. Only 17 touchdowns and 32 trips coming in today's game.
Play action over the middle, down to the 1, touchdown Miami. Walford makes his 5th touchdown catch of the year.
Again, it's man coverage, and they match up the former corner, Tim Scott, who's now plays safety, on Walford. Walford beat him earlier for a first down. This time, he's going to beat him for a touchdown. Going to come right here, inside on the slant route from the slot, and no match. Once physically, Walford gets the ball in his hands. Scott, there's no chance to tackle a 260-pound tight end. They're going to take a look to make sure Walford crossed the goal line. Let's see if he falls on top of Scott as he goes to the ground. Well, he stretches the ball with the right hand.
Yeah, it looks like the ball's across.
Well, the look at it does not fall on Scott, but watch the awareness to see where he is, and I don't think you can change that. Excellent individual effort by Walford once he got the ball in his hands.
Former high school basketball star from Belglade High School. He is some kind of talented. Next stop, NFL. Canes leading receiver and his 5th touchdown catch of the year.
Two catches, 57 yards a year ago against North Carolina for Walford. Came in averaging about 13.5 yards a catch.
Let's go down for the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called touchdown.
(15-6) Miami. Michael Bagley comes on for the extra point. And it's good. So far, a happy homecoming for Miami. And Brad Kaya has been sharp. 6 for 9, 50 yards, and that touchdown. Presentation, the 17th and 18th members to join the Ring of Honor here at Miami. The Canes honoring former greats Jerome Brown and Russell Maryland as they go up to the Ring of Honor.
Two great defensive linemen. Russell Maryland, phenomenal player here for Miami, went on to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Outstanding football player there. Of course, JV, Jerome Brown. I had the great pleasure of playing with Jerome Brown in Philadelphia. Lost him way too soon. Died in a car accident back in '92. And I think they probably would have given Jerome Brown one of those gold jackets that he had a chance to finish his career in the National Football League. He was a big-time player as well. Great character, too. What a phenomenal character. Really enjoyed being around Jerome.
Bagley's kick is short. This is Romar Morris across the 30, so they'll have pretty good field position to start this offensive segment. Well, let's get an update from Blacksburg. Let's go back to Charlotte and check in with Tom and Tommy.
Thank you, Tim. It's a Hardee's update. Boston College of Virginia Tech second quarter. Miles Willis, giddy up, coach.
Great blocking up front for the BC line. Nothing for Willis to do but run. Forrest, run.
His only carry of the game, 68 yards, 14-10 Eagles.
Wow, how high did the voice get there? Are all the dogs in Charlotte barking right now is what I want to know.
Singing solo again, Tommy Bowden. Marquise Williams across the 40 for a first down. Carolina, that's only their second play of 10 yards or more this afternoon by the Tar Heels.
And really the only play Marquise Williams has made today, and this is a drop back pass. He just scrambles out of the pocket, no design run here.
Trying to pick it up. Here he is again on first down. Rolls, tries to break containment. Looking for a flag on the face mask. There is none. Jermaine Grace gets the tackle.
Now this Miami defense, now I talked about, they're still undermanned from a scholarship standpoint. They're still stinging from the sanctions that were levied here, and they still don't have the depth that they need. But you can see the speed starting to come back for the Hurricanes, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with the restrictions, they've been able to redshirt 16 guys. This ball's knocked up in the air, and Williams makes the completion, but
never catch the
ball. He learned his lesson from 2 weeks ago when he tried to throw it again after the catch.
Yeah, but he should have learned don't catch the ball. I mean, you don't catch these. Knock them down. Look how many green jerseys are around Marquise Williams. What's he going to do with this?
He wanted to pad his stats for the completion.
The only guy not in that picture was Warren Sapp. I mean, every Miami Hurricane was around him.
Chris Francis in the ball game at tailback. Third down, they need 16. Williams with backside pressure, throws underneath. Switzer dodges one, can't get to the other. Hollins correction, he's out to the original line of scrimmage, but that's it. So Mac Hollins dodged one, couldn't get the others.
Just the first catch for Hollins today. Big play guy, averages 21 yards a catch, going to take the shallow drag on 3rd and long. And now Miami just has to keep their integrity in the tackling game here. Keep a guy outside, a guy inside, and they do that and get him on the ground. So big play, though, by Marquise Williams catching that batted pass. Should have knocked it down.
Well, they have to give it back to Miami. So Coley goes back to the 12. Field it there and look for the wall, but it's good coverage by Carolina.
Well, Mac Hollins made the tackle there, so he got down and got a hit on him himself.
The ACC and your local Toyota dealers are unlocking ACC's archives. You can relive over 60 classic football games. 5 years ago, the unranked Canes went to Tallahassee to face the Seminoles, and it came down to the final seconds. A 4-point lead by Miami, just under 2 minutes left in the game. Well, Florida State marched down the field. Christian Ponder's pass dropped in the end zone. Ball game over. Visit theacc.com/vault. It's brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Well, how many times have those two teams boiled down to the end of the game like that?
Here's Miami and Florida State coming up next, and look out. He's loose. This is Johnson. Inside the 10, touchdown Miami. Duke Johnson again.
That one you might be able to put in the record books. That was 90 yards for Duke.
Duke Johnson now 3,000 yards for his career. Closing in on Otis Anderson.
Well, just great blocking up front, and an excellent block by, looked like Philip Dorsett, the wide receiver, and then Duke is off to the races. I give MJ Stewart some credit. He was able to come from the backside, but he went for the swipe of the football as opposed to trying to tackle Duke. And Duke ran through the arm tackle to shove it in the end zone.
Extra point. Good. And the Canes are rolling. Duke Johnson's rolling. Oh my, we'll be back after this word from the University of North Carolina and Miami. Just busted one open, and he is phenomenal.
All right, let's take a look at this play. Here's Philip Dorsett and Stacy Coley outside. They're going to get the key blocks, but it's Dorsett's decision to block the safety, not the blitzing linebacker. That's the key here. Watch Dorsett start inside, and he turns that guy down, moves up to the safety, gets the key block, and Duke with the great speed splits the two receivers, and he is gone.
Duke Johnson, 17 carries, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns this afternoon. Got through the line, past the safety, and say so long.
Well, we talked about one of the great playmakers in college football today, Duke Johnson. He lights the scoreboard up again.
There's Romar Morris at the 20. Tries to get outside. He's got some giddy up. And across the 35-yard line to about the 38.
I get around 100. Over 200.
Now, Duke 17 carries, already 172 yards. That's coming off a 29-carry, 249 performance 10 days ago against Virginia Tech. And now Duke beginning rushing record here on some legendary names now. Talk about the Edger and James and those type of people that have carried the football for Miami.
T.J. Logan in the backfield. Williams keeps it himself to the 46-yard line. Olsen Pierre made the stop.
They're going to need to get more out of Marquise Williams. He's going to have to do more of this. He's going to have to create some stuff on his own. Miami has taken away some of the zone read running game that Marquise has had some success with. So it's going to be on his shoulders to start making some plays.
He's got time to throw. And it's picked off. There wasn't a Carolina receiver in the area.
Well, Bush comes up with the interception, but it was Kirby that had the opportunity for the linebacker spot to pick it off. He tried to thread it through the linebackers, and Kirby tips it. And Devin Bush dives in to make the interception. Here's Coley, or here's Kirby. Watch Kirby close.
Looked like it was intended for Kirby.
The ruling on the field was an interception. The previous play is under further review.
Well, let's take another look. Kirby tip. See if he has his hands under it. It looks like he does.
His hands are definitely under. Did it slide through his hands?
Not going to tell from that angle.
Yeah, his arms and hands are under the ball. And once he secures it, it can touch the ground. Take a look at this angle, see if it squirts through. Oh, I don't see anything there. It's going to take away the Deion Bush interception.
That'll be his first interception of the year. He's also got a sack, 2 forced fumbles, tackle for a loss. He's active.
Well, that's the frustration that comes in. Miami has kind of forced.
The review, the ruling on the field stands as called interception, first down.
Miami has kind of forced Marquise Williams into that zone where you get frustrated as a quarterback and you try to make something happen that's not there. And he tried to shove it into coverage, trying to get it to his receiver in behind the linebackers. And a good read by Kirby to get his hands on it initially, and Bush to react from the safety spot.
Keep in mind, Miami's defense ranked 13th in the ACC last year. Definitely better and continues to improve. Big turnover there. First down, Canes. Kaya looking deep. Incomplete. No flags.
Oh, the contact. Yeah, this is pass interference. I can't believe this is not called.
Tim Scott was bumping and grinding with Dorsett all the way down the field.
He's going to get a swat on the right forearm right before the ball gets there. There's the swat. It's clearly pass interference. This is a tough one. Dorsett's going to suck that one in for a big play, and Scott gets away with one.
Brings up second down and 10.
Well, you wondered when the shot was going to come. How much was North Carolina going to creep up, and they're going to slip Dorsett in behind. That was their shot.
Yerby the lone setback. A little bit of a crease, not much. Gains 3.
Coach Golden very, very animated on the sideline. Really disappointed in that call. But they get to regroup as a Miami offense. Got a short field opportunity here. Now North Carolina trying to get off the field on third down.
Al's worked hard in the first half.
North Carolina showing blitz. A lot of players around the line of scrimmage. Safeties playing around. That's what Kaya's looking at. That's what they're looking at from the sideline.
Miami needs 7. 3rd down. Yearby has got the first down and into the secondary.
You talk about some confidence in your offensive line now. 3rd and 7 out at that midfield area, and you turn it over to your offensive line. Excellent job. Good play call there.
Joe Yearby stays in the game. Boy, Kaya is cool for a freshman, didn't he? Look at this throw over the middle. This is complete. And all the way down inside the 20 goes Joe Yearby.
They get Yearby isolated on the linebacker Hughes. Excellent throw and good recognition from Kaya as he gets the football to Yearby going up the field away from the linebacker. Excellent throw by the freshman.
Only the 7th reception of the year for Yearby. First down Miami. Kaya buys time now. Slides across the 15.
That's one that Al Golden would like to see his young quarterback throw away, not have to burn a timeout there, hang on to it, but he burns the timeout there.
Final 34 seconds. Well, what's coming up at halftime? Let's go back to Charlotte, check in with Tom and Tommy. What do you guys have?
Thank you, Tim. Coming up on the Hyundai Halftime Report, we'll have highlights of all of the early games. But, Coach, how about Duke and Pittsburgh? 113 points last year. It's 28-28 at halftime.
I tell you, while both head coaches are in the locker room, they need to look for their defense. 614 yards of total offense first half.
I got all these highlights to talk about. Hyundai Halftime Report coming up.
Well, I don't know what it is when those two teams get together. We had the 58-55 game a year ago in Durham, and they're lighting it up again.
How about the studio guys? They're having a party today.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to see what Coach Bowden's costume was. Is he wearing costume? Is he in costume?
Came as himself.
Did he? Okay. Well, that's good. It works. He came as his dad, maybe. That's good.
Kaya now 7 for 11, 89 yards and a touchdown. Yearby stays in the game. Duke Johnson had been dominating this game. 2nd down and long. Kaya steps up, throws into the corner. Well defended by Tim Scott.
Good play by Tim Scott, playing free. We talked about his transition from corner for 3 years back to safety. I thought Kaya was a count late getting this ball out, which allowed Tim Scott to get there, rake it out with the left hand. Wanted to get the ball to Philip Dorsett there in that right front corner of the end zone.
Yearby stays in the game. A lot of folks saying, what about Duke Johnson? Well, he's got 184 yards here in the first half. North Carolina as a team has only 46.
Weighted towards the run game, and why not? They've controlled the line of scrimmage today.
3rd down, Canes. Kaya steps up, goes to the corner again, and has a touchdown pass. Walford again.
Tim, it's the same play. All you do is change the personnel. And you go to your big tight end and get him isolated on the safety. Because it's the same route. You got a back in the flat, and you run a corner route from the inside receiver. And Clive Walford just goes up high. Good decision by Kaya to throw the ball. Watch him elevate the ball for his big tight end. Scott can't get to it. Clive Walford can get it. He went and got it for a 2nd touchdown of the day. It's the same route complex they just ran. Only a bigger target in Walford.
Tim Scott 5'11", Walford 6'4", mismatch. Extra point. Good.
Well, you mentioned the comparisons to Jimmy Graham, and I think this kid is a better all-around player, better blocker, but that did look like Jimmy Graham right there. Climb the ladder, catch the football.
Walford, 4 catches, 40 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Joe Zagacki, Miami Radio Network. Let's check out his calls.
Carries for 82 yards. On 1st down, Kaya connects with Johnson over the right side. Oh, here we go. He's at the 25-30, 35-40, 45 midfield foot race. He's at the 35-30. Near sideline 25-20, 15, 10, 5. Duke Johnson goes all the way. The defense has the football. Will throw. Looking to the end zone. Firing for Walford. Oh, he's got it for a touchdown.
How about Joe getting excited for his Canes?
That's good stuff. That is good stuff.
All Miami in this first half.
Now this Carolina offense is explosive. We just have not seen it. Miami's done a great job defensively. Came in 15th in the country in total defense, and that's kind of the way they played here in the first half. Miami, North Carolina, let's get a big return here. Probably going to sit on the football and go regroup at halftime.
And a return to the 30. And he got punished. Carolina's only score came on a Miami mistake. Well, we saw the college football playoff rankings come out week 10, and this is the way it looks. The BCS obviously is kaput, no more. Now you've got the committee of 13, and this is the first time they've come out and gave their rankings. What do you think, partner?
Well, Ole Miss Auburn play each other tonight, so those two won't be sitting there in that position. But Florida State was able to survive. I wouldn't think they would fall because of the effort on the road at Papa John's to win that game.
Williams buys time, slides right, and throws incomplete. Well, no more computer rankings or polls picking the championship participants, and that's always good. No more 1 and 2 matchup in a winner-take-all national title game. Instead, you got the Final Four, and I think that's a positive step.
And I think a lot of people are concerned about the SEC West. Now, that's going to sort itself out. There's a lot of teams up there near the top. I think that will sort itself out, and ultimately you'll end up with a really good 4 teams in the final.
Second down and 10. Williams throws over the middle. This is incomplete. Intended for Ryan Switzer. It was a good pass. He just couldn't hold on. Gunter was there.
Well, the one thing I've seen from this Miami defense now is they're bringing the noise when they get to the impact point. Here comes Gunter. He's going to stick the shoulder in there, a good clean hit, and going to rake with the arm. Rakes with the arm, knocks the ball out. They've done a good job of jarring the ball loose defensively.
So it brings up third down and 10. Here's Switzer again. Gets a block in the first down, but that should be the last play of the first half. A first half that has been all Miami. All Duke Johnson. And Brad Kaya wasn't bad either. 8 of 13, 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the story is Duke Johnson with 184 yards of total offense. Wow. Think that's not a statement in the Coastal Division?
Well, Miami's played some of their best football here over the last couple of weeks, as have been North Carolina. Let's go down to Rachel.
Coach, your team playing really inspired ball in all facets. What was the most important to you in the first half?
Good on defense, we're keeping him in front. We haven't given him an next play. Rachel, we got to get to that big guy, though. We got to get a sack on him.
Tell me about your young quarterback. This week you said there was a time where you wondered about putting too much on him. Assess his play in the first half, please.
Well, he's doing a great job. You know, we just had the one first and 10, line of scrimmage penalty, and we didn't protect the ball on the next play. But other than that, he's doing a good job getting us in the right runs. Made a great pass down there down the stretch.
Good luck, Coach. Right. Let's send it back to the studio with Tom and Tommy. Jim, first of all, I just got to ask you, how you feeling? You're such a beloved figure. How you feeling?
I'm doing all right. You know, with cancer, you go through times, and it's an up and down battle. But you know what? I live every day to its fullest. I enjoy myself. I have fun, and I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to get everything out of it today.
What part of you beating cancer, this positive attitude, how much has it been, this positive attitude?
Well, it's attitude all the way. You know, everybody and people out there that understand that have had cancer before, and I know there's a lot of people that have a lot worse off than I do, but it's an everyday battle. But mentally, you got to stay focused on not so much making sure you mentally take care of yourself, but the people around you, your family, keeping them upbeat, because when they're down, you're down, and you need to make sure they stay up. So it's just like football, staying focused all the time.
Boy, what a great job he's done fighting cancer. And right now he seems to be in pretty good shape, partner.
Well, he obviously you see he's not quite as big a guy. It takes a lot out of you. I mean, he's gone through chemotherapy, all those kind of things, and he is as tough as nails. Okay, and that helped him come through it. Obviously, the positive attitude, great support system. His wife, his girls. You saw the jersey there with his son's name on the back, Hunter. Jim Kelly, just a tremendous football player. Really kind of got it started here at Miami when you start talking about how Miami became this national product. And Jim Kelly was the guy at the beginning of all that. Huge wins over Penn State, I believe. It was a big win over Penn State, 17-14. He directed, and of course, he was the Grand Marshal last night here at the homecoming parade. It was a big crowd on hand to see the legend, a lot of friends around, and of course, it's all about the U.
Yeah, no question.
And he certainly embodies that.
Had a great hug for Donna Shalala there, and it was a special night. He's thrilled to be back, and they're awfully glad to have him. Wow, Jim Kelly.
Yeah, neat moment to have Kelly here. Of course, obviously to have Jerome Brown's family here, Russell, Maryland, those two guys going in the Ring of Honor. Well, you talk about tradition now. There's a ton of tradition here in Miami.
Al Golden trying to bring it all back, trying to bring the golden years back to the U. Nick Weiler to kick off, and Stacy Coley, number 3. He's standing at his own goal line. Al Golden's record has improved every year that he's been here, and he came in, was handcuffed by the NCAA sanctions. This is his 4th year, but he's trending north. 6 wins his first year, 7 his second, 9 last year, although they struggled down the stretch when Duke Johnson got hurt. But he's guided this program through all those NCAA sanctions and just getting better and better. He's big here today, 30-6 over Carolina as we start the second half, and this ball will go out of the end zone and into the stands.
Well, when you talk about superstars, do the superstars come to play? Duke Johnson came to play today. His big offensive line coming off the football, the power, the stiff arm, shoves it in the end zone there. And, of course, the big one, the 90-yard touchdown, the elusiveness, the great speed to step on the accelerator and ultimately put it in the end zone as he breaks the tackle at the end. Duke Johnson has been big time today. And you look at the numbers, been very good. Obviously, the 90-yard touchdown skews that right side. But, hey, you better find a way to get number 8 on the ground. And so far, North Carolina has not.
Well, here he is. First down, Miami. Sidesteps 1, bulls over another, picks up 4.
Well, and Miami will watch this very closely. Remember, got off to such a great start and was able to throttle really a Virginia Tech team 2 Thursday nights ago. And so they're going to monitor this very closely. Don't want to overload Duke Johnson. That's his 18th carry of the day. They want to get him the ball somewhere in that 25 range. So I'm sure Al Golden will be watching that very closely.
Walter Tucker comes into the ball game. He's in front of Johnson. Kaya wants to throw, does, has it complete. That's a first down. First down and more as they go across midfield. Still on his feet. Down all the way to the 30-yard line goes Walford. Another big catch, another big gain before Des Lawrence can take him down. 3 missed tackles by Carolina on that play as Walford takes it deep into UNC territory.
Well, and that's Jeff Schottmer on the ground. He took a shot on the knee area by Duke Johnson. Duke was trying to block downfield to help Walford. Walford, good understanding of the pass game. He's going to separate. Going to get in that dead zone area. Good throw from Kaya, and then look at him step up field right away. Makes the safety miss, makes the linebacker Hughes miss, and then the block by Duke Johnson. A peel back block on Schottmer. Let's take a look at this block, and there's Duke Johnson coming in from the right side. Tries to get the head in front, hit him up on the hip. One thing I'll give Duke credit for, did not go down near the knee, hit him up near the hip area, but still, that's a guy that North Carolina cannot afford to lose. And I think that North Carolina, as they look at that, will be seem a little sketchy to them. Maybe that block was in a position that didn't need to be made.
Well, the good news is that leg was up in the air. So let's hope it was just a helmet bruise.
Well, and that's what Larry's talking about. Larry's talking about that ball. That block was from the back area, but it did look like, Duke may have gotten ahead on the side, but he was attacking from the back area of Schottmer, and that's what Larry Fedora's upset about.
ACC football is brought to you in HD by your local Tire Pros dealer. Win tires, wheels, and a trip for 2 to the ACC championship game at the ACC.com/TirePros.
So Jeff Schottmer looks like he's moving off on his own power.
It's pretty good production right there.
Yeah, and then, 7-1-7. You look at it didn't take them a long time to do it. 15 plays, 3 touchdowns.
Play action, fake to Johnson, a lot of pressure, and Kaya goes down. Otis gets credit for the sack. Let's go down to Rachel.
Guys, Larry Fedora was he was disgusted. That's putting it mildly. I asked him what he told his team. He said, tell them to play ball, play the game we know, and you know that you can play. And I asked about the first half. He said everything went wrong, everything. Our defense couldn't get stops, turnovers, our offense sputtered. And I asked him about the second half comeback against Virginia last week, and he said, we've been there. We know we can do it, guys.
Well, he preaches smart, fast, physical. That's what he wants them to play, and they didn't do any of that in the first half. He wants them to get back to who they are.
Not much there. They shut him down.
Yeah, nice play. Justin Thomason again. This is a guy that got in on the quarterback earlier in the game, and here he is, that's Norkeithus Otis, number 8, but Thomason, number 98, going to get in on the play, sealing that backside cutback on Duke Johnson. They need this defensive front to come up big, and especially with Schottmer off the field, because Schottmer is their leader, guy that flows from sideline to sideline.
Play clock down to 13. No hurry by Miami.
Schottmer moving around, trying to walk it off.
Kaya throws the screen. This is Johnson inside the 20, inside the 10. Duke Johnson, touchdown, Miami. He is special.
Well, this is what a great call. It's a middle screen. Look at the 2 big eaters out in front trying to help out. McDermott, the center. Feliciano, the right tackle. Boy, he just walks in untouched. That's just, you talk about an escort. That's when you get the, you get the fighter escort. That time it was a bomber escort because the fighter was in between and the 2 big bombers out in front.
The extra point is good. And hey, Carolina, Duke is beating you today. This is Johnson, Duke Johnson. Boy, how about the game he's having today? Duke Johnson, total yards 226. North Carolina 57.
Well, you need to win big games, and this is a big game in the Coastal between these 2 teams. You got to have your stars show up, and Duke Johnson, big game 10 days ago against Virginia Tech in Lane Stadium. Who showed up? Duke Johnson. He's done it again today, and he brought his teammates with him because they've played well. All Miami's played well.
This is Romar Morris. He's got a crease, gets to the outside, and almost had the ball stripped at the 35-yard line. Let's go back and look at that screen again.
Okay, middle screen. Remember, Jeff Schottmer, middle linebacker, out of the game. There's your center, McDermott. There's Feliciano, the tackle. They're going to allow him to rush upfield, and then they're going to get out in front and block for Duke. What you want to do is a little slow block, let them release him. Now let Duke Johnson get in behind the big eaters, and Duke doesn't get touched. Just gets in behind his big offensive line. Good job by Philip Dorsett. Looked like Coley down the field blocking, but wow, that was an easy. That might have been Duke's easiest touchdown he's ever scored right there.
First down, Carolina. And a pretty good gainer by Ryan Switzer. Well, they need a lot of those now.
Yeah, and Switzer's a guy who needs to touch the football. Explosive player. We talked about his punt return ability. That's really all you're trying to do in these jet sweep scenarios, bubble screens. Get the ball to your playmakers and let them go with it.
Williams throws, has it complete. This is Thorpe. Thorpe has another first down for the Tar Heels. TJ Thorpe had that big catch last week. Gunter made the tackle there, but they moved the chains again.
And you would imagine that the pace of play, which North Carolina has to play with, will be accelerated maybe to a little bit more of a super fast pace now. Look at the sideline for some adjustments.
And now there's a whistle and there's movement up front.
Full start, offense, number 78, 5 yards, first down.
Landon Turner is guilty. Take a look at our Haviland defensive shield of the ball game. Miami defensively. How about this? Last 2 games holding opponents under 94 rushing yards.
Yeah, been good. And good over the last 2. That just 27 yards rushing today. So they followed suit over the last 2 games. They're 15th in the country on defense now, and they've played some pretty good offenses.
First down and 15 for Carolina, and here comes the pressure, and there goes Williams. Denzel Perryman gets the sack. That's his 2nd sack of the year.
Well, Perryman likes playing against North Carolina. In his first 2 games, the last 2 games, he has 23 tackles, had 12 a year ago. Going to come on the cross blitz. Just nice through. North Carolina does a really poor job of picking up the stunt by the 2 linebackers, and Perryman's around Marquise Williams before he can do it in.
Miami with 3 sacks on Williams today. Williams with time, throws, has it complete to the 45-yard line. Big play by Bug Howard, who was well defended and still made the catch with Artie Burns right there.
Yeah, this is one that Marquise Williams just shoved into his face mask. I think it was stuck in his face mask when he hit the ground. He really shot that one in there.
Carolina's first play of 15 or more yards. All the big plays have belonged to the Hurricanes. 3rd down and 4. Into the flats. Here's Switzer. Stays on his feet. He'll still be short of the first down.
How about the hustle? How about the hustle of Miami? Boy, Switzer needs to step on the accelerator, get the first down right there. He's open in the flat. It's a neat design. Going to bring Switzer back underneath the formation on the boot play. As Marquise Williams pounds it forward on 4th down to get the first down. But just a kind of a sketchy run there by Switzer.
Flag down. We'll see what that is.
There was 12 men on defense when the ball was snapped. That's a 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Results in a first down.
Well, there's way too many people out on the field. Yeah, and I think that exceeds the 11 limit on the field.
Well, I'm sure Carolina's felt like they've had too many guys all day. They've felt outnumbered. TJ Logan in the ball game for Carolina. First down, Heels. Williams keeps it, but he waited too long and McCord trips him up.
This guy is a kind of an emerging star, a little bit rushing the passer in Tariq McCord. Does a good job of getting around. Initial good protection, but when Marquise Williams decides to skate out of there, McCord closes and puts him on the ground.
He's a junior, and he's going to be a good one next year, too. Here's another flag, but another completion. Singleton makes the catch. We'll wait and see what the flag is. This is a pretty good drive by Carolina. Ventress will get credit for that tackle. We'll wait and see if it stands up.
Illegal formation. There was 5 men in the backfield on the offense.
First down line brought to you by YP. Folks, our First and 10 is brought to you by YP.com, the even more powerful Yellow Pages. One app, one site. YP can do that.
Now, we talked about the penalties coming in, Tim. These two teams are penalized more than anybody else in the ACC. Yardage-wise, Virginia Tech has more penalties, number of penalties, than both these teams, but the yardage-wise, these two are the worst.
Carolina needs something good to happen. They're going deep. Looking for Hollins, incomplete. Pretty good coverage out there by Gunter again.
Now, Gunter's in the hip pocket of Collins, but he's a big receiver, so you want to keep the ball in bounds, put him up to bat, but there's your plays in the game. We talked about just 11 plays in the first quarter, now only up to 36 for the game, well under the number that Larry Fedora's offense normally is able to put on you.
Certainly one of the best games defensively by the U this season. TJ Logan in the ball game, back with Williams. Backside pressure, and Williams goes down again. You just talked about him, and there he is. Tariq McCord.
No, just his second sack on the year as well, Tim. He talked about Perryman getting his second sack. They've got 18 as a team, and that tells you here he is right here. He's just going to steamroll it off the edge. Working against Ferrantano. And just speed rush up the field.
So what looked like a promising drive now turns into a disaster for Carolina. Ball's still loose, and Miami comes up with it deep in the red zone. Second bad snap on special teams today by Carolina, and McCord comes up with the football. What a series he had.
Yeah, it was just a brutal snap. No chance for Hibbert to come up with the football. Connor Fry, the deep snapper. And just that's something that can't happen. You can't get a punt blocked, and you certainly can't snap the ball over your punter's head. You can't do it twice in the game, no question about that.
First one was a safety. This one may have set up a touchdown. Joe Yearby comes out. He's your tailback. Miami can get a first down without scoring. Yearby down to the 10.
Well, I would think that Duke Johnson's standing right in the hip pocket of Al Golden on the sideline, but I would be highly surprised if Duke steps back on the football field. You mentioned, Tim, he got a little banged up late in the Virginia Tech game 10 days ago, and there was some criticism that he was in too long. And I think even Miami, some of the officials at Miami, the coaches felt like, yeah, maybe we left him in a little bit too long. I don't think there's any danger of that today. I think Duke is done.
Here's Yearby. How about this kid? True freshman, 5'9", 192 yards. Had a fractured leg last year, a fibula. That was last December. But he was a 4-star recruit. Has deceptive speed, a lot of power. And he's coming in now in place of Johnson and picking up some big chunks.
Duke's standing right there where he can beg for another carry. You know he doesn't want to be out of the game. There's nobody who wants to be on the field more than number 8. But you mentioned Yearby. He is a big-time player in his own right.
Yearby had enough for the first down. First and goal, Canes. Tucker comes in as the lead backer. Yearby. Touchdown, Miami. Joe Yearby, the freshman.
Well, that's something Yearby is very familiar with, Tim. That's his first rushing touchdown of the year, but he comes from powerful Miami Central. A couple of state championships while Yearby was there, and in his career he had 63 rushing touchdowns for Miami Central High School. So he's used to putting it in the end zone.
Miami with 409 total yards to just 39 for Carolina. Wow. Automatic. So the Tar Heels making mistakes and helping the Canes do what they're doing. The second bad snap. First was a safety. This set up Joe Yearby's touchdown. All right, Tommy, thank you very much. Michael Badley getting ready to kick off as you look at Yearby. Yearby made that touchdown run, as Art said, his first touchdown of the year. And what a talented freshman he is, stepping in for Duke Johnson.
Yeah, one of the homegrown guys here. There's so much talent here in the Miami area, and he went to Miami Central High School. They've got a couple of guys from Central. Number of high schools in this area put out some of the best talent in the country.
This ball will go out of bounds. So that draws a flag, and it'll give Carolina a decent field position here to start this drive. Now, average play and yards per play, Miami is over 8 yards a carry. North Carolina just under 1.
North Carolina has 39 yards of offense. I mean, that's unbelievable. This is one of the top offenses, not just in the ACC, but in the country.
This is 31 points a game.
Oh, this is a team that really has, the identity is their offense, and they have been just stopped today.
Here's a little screen. Switzer. to the 42-yard line, rather. Run out of bounds by Prohl, another true freshman, or Prohl, rather.
Now, the Miami front four has done such a good job of pressuring the quarterback, and they've sprinkled in pressure from the linebackers that Marquise Williams has never, ever been comfortable in the game. They made him uncomfortable from the beginning, and he stayed in that position.
Williams steps up in the pocket, has time, and throws a strike. Did he complete the catch? You bet he did. Bug Howard holds on inside the 40. They put it right at the 37.
Yeah, deep in cut, a lot of time. Good throw over the linebackers. Bug Howard did a good job of squeezing the ball there.
Get it off quickly. They don't want another look at that. This is Morris. And Morris gets hit hard and drives them back, and it's Denzel Perryman again.
My goodness. You want to talk about form tackle? Watch this. There's a lot of talk about the tackling's down. There's not a lot of hitting in practice anymore at both levels, both college and pro. Well, let me tell you something. 52 knows how to bring it.
He's the record holder in the Miami weight room. He can squat the world. Williams throws again over the middle, complete inside the 20. And again, it's Bug Howard.
Yeah, excellent throw just inside Corn Elder. And Bug Howard's done a good job of catching the ball with his hands, squeezing it. Two good throws back to back there by Williams.
44-6. It's good to see Carolina still battling. Logan and Morris both in the game now. This is Logan inside the 15, down close to the 10.
The bunch looked into the boundary, got Logan in behind. Oh, Logan's got great speed. Talk about one of those celebrated freshmen from a year ago. TJ Logan with first injuries, finally got on the field. Ultimately was one of their top rushers a year ago.
Here's the keeper by Williams inside the 5. Williams touchdown, Carolina. Marquise Williams.
Now, Coach Golden will be disappointed, Nat. I don't think that was the best effort by Miami's defensive group. Perryman gets knocked out of there. That's a good block out in front by Turner. Landon Turner gets the block on Perryman. Al Golden will be upset with that. That was not the Miami defense we've seen most of the day right there. North Carolina moved right down the field. Give North Carolina, as you said, Tim, give North Carolina credit. And 15th rushing touchdown in his career, which is first all time for a quarterback for North Carolina, Marquise Williams.
Well, at least that'll give him something to smile about. What a great day for the beach. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. And scored a touchdown to make it 44-13. Look at the progressive top 25.
Well, Florida State, we know, survived on Thursday night. An unbelievable second-half performance by Jameis Winston and the Seminoles to come back and beat Louisville. Clemson and Duke hanging strong. Duke in a battle right now with Pitt, trying to keep themselves atop the Coastal Division. Obviously, Miami casting an eye in that direction. Remember, Miami has a win over Duke right here in South Florida, so they're kind of watching to see what's happening in the Coastal as well, as they're on their way to what looks like a big victory for themselves.
That's your AP Top 25, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. This ball will be down for a touchback. Stacy Coley very wisely downs it. So they'll bring it out to the 25.
Yeah, looking down on that sideline, the huddle, seeing if Duke Johnson tries to poke his head in there. He's the guy that continues to try to get himself on the field. Yerby is going to be the running back of record here, but Duke's generally hanging around there trying to get his head, trying to get in the huddle.
How about that battery on the last touchdown? You had Tucker at fullback, Yerby at tailback. That's your sophomore and freshman. They're young, they're coming. Plus, what did Al tell us yesterday? They were redshirting 16 guys, and that's when the program is starting to come back.
Oh. Malik Simmons with a big hit right there on Yerby, peeling back. Big hit.
You know, coming into this game, Carolina ranked 119th out of 125 defensively.
Simmons peel back right here and get a big lick on Yerby right there.
But they're getting some big hits, giving up a lot of points today.
North Carolina plays at 4-2-5, so we've got 5 defensive back types on the field, and that's probably hurt them. Maybe it'll hurt them a little bit against the run. You got 5 smaller bodies on the field.
Second down and 3. Miami will come up a little bit short on that.
Looked like Simmons knifed in from that defensive back spot, Tim, to make that play. Now we probably need to start. Coach Golden's got a big one coming up in a couple weeks as he takes on number 2 Florida State. And maybe a moment, the way Duke's playing now here down the stretch, got to start throwing Duke Johnson's name in the Heisman Trophy talk now, and that'll be a moment for him with Florida State coming in. Maybe that monster moment where Duke Johnson thrusts himself into the Heisman talk.
Well, I don't think he got it, Arch. I agree with you 100%. You know, when you look at Duke Johnson, that's a good call. And it's a good thing. I like it that you're throwing his name out there. I mean, to get that.
Well, I think that he got off to a little bit of a slow start. He's well over 1,000 yards now, and he's playing his best football when it means the most for Miami. And I think that has to be part of the equation when you look at, it's a year-long scenario. And if you look at his numbers, he didn't have as many carries, and he was right around that 90-95 mark per game anyway. Then all of a sudden, 5 consecutive 100-yard games and 2 monster performances here back-to-back in big games against Virginia Tech and North Carolina, and a big moment against Florida State coming up.
Here's a big return here. This is Switzer, and Switzer's loose. There is a flag down. Switzer would take it all the way to the house, but they're going to bring this one back.
Well, you got an inadvertent whistle as well in the middle of the play. Switzer was at about the 50, and the official blew his whistle, and he put his hands on his head, said, "Oh no, I've screwed up." So, a lot going on this play with Switzer's return. If we can hear that, maybe we have some audio, we can hear that whistle blown about the time Switzer gets about the 50-yard line.
I know Larry Fedora is furious. Threw his game plan to the ground. Now he's out all the way to the hash marks.
During the return, holding number 15 of the return team. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down. Right here.
That's not going to make him any happier, I'll tell you that. Maybe with the hold.
Switzer last year averaged almost 21 yards a return a year ago, and you see the 5 touchdowns in his last 5 games last year. This year, no punt return for touchdowns. In fact, coming in today was averaging just 5 yards a return. So, it's been a completely different year for Switzer returning the football.
You know, Larry's frustrated anyway because of the way this ball game's gone. But he's not going to stand for any of that. He's still out on the field. Now coming back.
I think he felt like there was a penalty in the interior line on Miami. Maybe an early movement before the snap that was not seen as well.
So after all that, first down, Tar Heels. Williams steps up and he's going to hit from behind. The ball's loose. Tar Heels get it back. Deion Bush stripped him. Logan gets it back.
You wondered if Coach D'Onofrio would get back to what they were doing, and they did. They came back to blitzing the quarterback, getting after him, not playing soft. Bush gets in there, gets the strip.
Second down, they need 11. Williams throws again. Here's Switzer, who still must be winded after that long return, and he gets taken out of bounds rather rudely by Jermaine Grace.
Zone coverage, dropped the ball off the Switzer. Really good job by Miami to leverage that play. Look at the numbers for North Carolina's offense. And not an exaggeration, this is a good offense, very good offense. And they've just been stopped today.
Third down and 8 for Carolina. Just 2 of 9 on third down conversions today, and they're going to come up short on this one.
I don't think there's any question they go here on fourth down, but again, good tackling in man coverage situations. Again, Antonio Crawford makes the play. If Miami has come with pressure today, their back end has really handled it. If the ball's come out and somebody's caught the ball, they've tackled it really well.
Larry Fedora letting them know they missed another one. In his eyes, anyway. 0 for 2 on fourth down conversions. Here we go. They need 2.
Miami's burning the timeout here.
Timeout, Canes.
Miami. Their first time out of the half. 30-second timeout.
Al Golden's club, there are only 3 losses this year to pretty good opponents: Louisville, Nebraska, and Georgia Tech. How about the gaming app, the Football Challenge? Tar Heel fans leading that 53-47. Still got 10 hours left. ACCFootballChallenge.com. Check in, put your vote in. Download the ACC Football Challenge to get in the game and secure the victory for your team in today's matchup.
Well, we talked about some of the big-time players coming to play, and Denzel Perryman has answered the call on the defensive side of the ball. He's the guy that gets the football. He leads the Hurricanes in tackles. He's got 8 today, including a sack, and he has brought the lumber when he's arrived. He has dropped the hammer a number of times today. His teammates feed off him, the senior linebacker. Fun to visit with him. We had to go to we went to ACC Media Days in July, and one of the representatives from Miami was Denzel Perryman. What a great, fun, engaging guy. Duke Johnson was there as well, but really enjoyed spending time with Denzel Perryman. He felt like they had a chance to be pretty good, and they are.
And so is he. You're right. 6 games with at least 10 tackles. You said he's got 8 today. Trying to make it 7 games. 4-year starter. Just keeps adding weight and getting better. And he'll play on Sundays.
I can think of a couple teams that can use him tomorrow.
4th down, Carolina.
Woo. Well, that's Denzel Perryman. He's got him in man coverage in the flat. Might have arrived a hair early, but he has Romar Morris. Watch him fly to the flat out of the middle of the field, going to his coverage responsibility. And you can bet Romar Morris knew 52 was in the area, and he might have gotten there a hair early. There's no question the North Carolina sideline thought that Denzel Perryman got there a little bit early.
Well, Chad Thomas was applying the pressure. He got there just a split second too late to get Williams. And then Williams wanted the penalty out there in the flats.
Well, you can see how well he runs, though. How about him shooting out of the middle of the field to be on his coverage?
Joe Yearby still the tailback. This is a play action. Hey, country music artist Thompson Square and Chase Rice will headline ACC Fan Fest presented by AT&T. That's on December 6th. Get your game tickets now. Don't miss the free event held outside Bank of America Stadium prior to the ACC Football Championship game. Visit theacc.com for tickets, details for more on that event, and who knows who's going to be there from the Coastal Division.
Well, that's just it. That weekend's an event. If you haven't had a chance to go to Charlotte and be there for the days that the championship game, it's fun stuff.
Yearby with another impressive run. Nathan Staub runs him out of bounds, but he's an oohs and ah runner.
How about the speed of this guy now? Yearby is kind of in the shadows of Duke Johnson, and rightly so, but the freshman has big-time speed, 5,400 yards rushing in his high school career at Miami Central. And that's big boy football at the high school level now, and 63 touchdowns.
13 carries, 65 yards today. Foley changes sides. He's got the ball in reverse. Cuts inside. Foley inside the 20. And there is where it ends. Close to the first down, right at the marker. That should bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. What a day for Miami. What a day for Carolina. 44-13 as we head into the final 15 minutes in South Florida.
You talk about bringing your A game. How about Duke Johnson? 226 yards total offense. Clive Warren, Walford, 2 touchdown catches. Brett Kybin, outstanding. Very efficient, 3 touchdowns. And how about Denzel Perryman? 8 tackles and a sack. Probably could have picked out a number of guys on the Miami team, but there's 4 guys that brought their A game today.
Kaya looks into the end zone, incomplete. It was intended for Philip Dorsett, who's been quiet today because of the stars that you just mentioned. There have been so many, they stepped up so big. Dorsett really wasn't needed for that speed.
Well, you look at the last 2 games for Miami. Kaya threw the ball 16 times against Virginia Tech. They ran the ball for over 300 yards, 320 yards or something against Virginia Tech. And then today, that was just his 17th attempt today. 11 of 17 throwing the football, so they again have dominated the line of scrimmage with a run game.
Yearby the lone setback. He's your ball carrier. Runs behind his pads, pushes the pile, and has a few. Well, our first quarter stats brought to you, our fourth quarter stats brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery. This year, the North Carolina Education Lottery contribute more than $500 million to help meet North Carolina's education needs. Learn more at nc-educationlottery.org.
Duke Johnson touching the football, it results in a first down every time he gets it. That's all I see. Yeah, 227 yards on 21 touches. And Clive Walford, we talked about, is a next level talent. He showed it.
Yearby cuts inside the 15. How about November 15th now as the spotlight gets brighter on Miami and Florida State?
Well, and as I was talking about in Duke Johnson potentially surging into the conversation as far as the Heisman Trophy, that's going to be his moment. Heisman Trophy winner from a year ago, and Jameis Winston, who's really playing some good football. And then you've got, of course, Duke Johnson in that game. And, of course, what Miami has left, there it is. You talk about the Florida State game. That game at Virginia will not be a walkover. Virginia very good defensively. And Pitt, as we're seeing against Duke, they're battling at Duke today. They can put points on the board as well. So still got some work to do. And certainly the 1 in 2 weeks against Florida State could have some huge impact for Al Golden and his program.
Badley comes on for a 32-yard attempt, and there's a flag and the whistle stop play.
False start, offense, number 75, 5 yards, worked out.
So this will push him back 5 yards and make this attempt even a little more difficult.
You talk about athletes. This Bagley, the kicker, tremendous athlete in high school in New Jersey. Was actually scored a number of touchdowns, rushing the football. Comes in here kicking the ball. Just a freshman, 6 of 7 coming in today.
This one's from 37 yards. Good snap, good hold, plenty of distance. What a strong leg, and it's good. Well, it's been quite a weekend down here in South Florida. Homecoming weekend. They celebrated last night down in South Florida. Coral Gables was rocking. They had the homecoming parade. Jim Kelly, the Grand Marshal. Sights and sounds of South Florida. Welcome to Miami Beach, and what a couple days it's been. Temperature right in the mid-70s, spectacular, and the home team winning on homecoming. It's been pretty much of a day at the beach for Miami all day.
It really has. We had a chance to spend some time down at the university, and boy, they've got a lot of fun stuff going on. Some of the new buildings going in, the Schwartz Athletic Excellence Building. Just tremendous facilities and plans for Miami moving forward with the facilities upgrading some things. They're going to do some stuff at this stadium. About $500 million going towards upgrading facilities on campus as well as the stadium here to make it a more intimate opportunity to come be close to the Hurricanes.
Got a pretty good wind down there. You were down there before the game. How was it blowing then?
It was blusterly.
I don't know if you ever marked the footballs like that. It says quarterback on the white stripes, so that must be one of Brad Kaya's favorite footballs. Carolina will keep this one in the end zone for the touchback. Well, there's a lot of drama going on in the ACC up in Pittsburgh. Let's go back to the studio and get the very latest from Tom.
Tim, time for a Hyundai update. Pittsburgh and Duke. The Panthers kicker Chris Blewett from 26 yards away at the end of regulation. No good. On to overtime. Tied at 38 in Pittsburgh.
How about those two teams?
It's unbelievable the points those two teams put on the board. And we talked about the 58-55 a year ago. They've not missed a beat.
Meanwhile, Miami's rushing game has been off the charts in this game. Williams with the keeper gets back to the line of scrimmage, and again McCord, who's really come on strong here in the second half, makes the tackle.
Yeah, McCord from the backside, good job. It looked like by Kirby on the front side. I'm sorry, it was actually Owens on the front side, the linebacker. Look at Marquise Williams, and just minus 6 yards rushing. Came in as the leading rusher for North Carolina and just have not been able to do anything, and it's been the suffocating defense of Miami.
Second down and 10. Queese throws to the flats. Outstanding catch out there by Thorpe, and TJ Thorpe, if he short of the first down, but that was impressive.
And again, this is a quick out. It's a quick out throw, and you see Marquise Williams going to the ground. Chicolo's around him. Good catch by T.J. Thorpe along the sideline. That's a quick out. It's a 5-yard out, and your quarterback's getting hit on the play. So that tells you, one, that Miami's coming, bringing it every snap. Number two, you're not doing a very good job of protecting your quarterback.
Just 2 of 10 on third down conversions today. Steps up, has a man wide open. This is complete across midfield. T.J. Thorpe all the way down to the 30, and inside the 30 goes Carolina.
Good job of Marquise Williams standing in because the pocket was disintegrating, but he stood in there and waited for Thorpe on the shallow drag. And he's going to find him in the dead area of the Miami zone. And then Thorpe, former kick returner, he's very comfortable in the open field.
T.J. Thorpe with a big touchdown last week at Virginia. He's got 3 catches for 56 yards here this afternoon. Chris Francis comes in the ball game. He's in the backfield with Williams. Play action. Look out there again. Dangerous pass, but a first down for the Tar Heels. And Thorpe again.
Good strong hands too. This is a contested catch. Miami's in good position defensively, and good job by Thorpe to squeeze the ball.
Williams throws to the end zone, incomplete. Oh, he thought he had a window and just missed Austin Prohl.
Well, he did. He really did a good job. A little pump fake to the side, and then tries to shoot it in that gap between safety and corner. Just didn't get enough. It just didn't have enough trajectory on the ball to get it into Prohl.
Brings 2nd and 10. This is Francis. Looks for a block. Can't get through the crease. Seam closed quickly.
Tackled by one of those Miami linebackers. This time Kirby makes the play. Been impressed with all those guys. Armbrister has done an excellent job. He came in actually as their leading sacker. Perryman and Kirby have been good as well. And you look at North Carolina, the total yards, really not very good either way, but they've gotten a little bit more going here in the second half. Not enough.
Brings up 3rd and long. They're having a problem with the clocks. So the play clock is at 25. Here's Williams on the quarterback draw. Inside the 10, down to the 5. Still on his feet to the 3. Still trying to get down to the goal line. How about Marquise Williams? Carrying tacklers with him close to the goal line. Finally, they get him down. Missed tackles on the play by Perryman.
And here's Marquise trying to finish the run. Kirby there, the linebacker. A number of Hurricanes get there, and here come these big fellas going to try to push Marquise in the end zone.
Still don't get in. Tried to squeeze it in with T.J. Logan.
They've done a nice job on that zone read play. The ends have been very good at getting up the field. That time McCord took away Marquise Williams, and they're going to go to look like we're going to step into a wildcat, and they will. T.J. Logan now at quarterback.
2nd down and goal. Logan looking for a crease. Not going to make it.
Yes, Perryman. You talk about a linebacker that sees the football and then destroys it when he gets there.
Ooh, what a hit. Kidding me? Tucks his tail, skies his eyes. Denzel Perryman, give him the Butkus Award right now.
Well, Rachel talked about him. Now he gets in that mode of getting ready to make a tackle. He's like a shark. The eyes roll back in his head, and he just drops the hammer.
He's got 9 tackles today and 1 sack. Going for another double-digit day. Timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. It's all you. An exclusive production of Raycom Sports, also streaming live now on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. T.J. Logan is in the backfield now with Williams. Williams wants to throw. He's in trouble, goes down, and there are flags coming out quickly.
It looked like Hurtley got him with a face mask.
That penalty is half the distance to the goal from the line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
Hurtley, one of the JC transfers that Al Golden added to the roster. Number 93 going to get in. Gets Marquise Williams around the face mask. Scottsdale Community College out in Arizona. Been pretty good at D-tackle.
So that'll snuggle him up down by the goal line, give him first down, new set of downs. TJ Logan tries to go over the top, and he doesn't make it. How about the effort by the defense down here by the goal line? Hurtley and Kirby shut him down.
Well, that's, what is that, snap 4 inside the 5-yard line? That's their 4th snap inside the 5.
Pretty impressive, huh? Look at John Heck. Trying to get to the corner. Touchdown, North Carolina. Marquise Williams.
Ran the option play. Marquise Williams able to snake it in off that right side out of the option. Well, a good job of
great read.
A little fake to the outside. Got Owens, 58, the linebacker, to just kind of sniff the back, and then Marquise steps inside. Boy, he paid for it as he stepped inside the end zone as Kirby dropped a hit on him.
Yeah, Kirby got shut off. I think Kirby was responsible for the quarterback on that side, and he got cut off. The extra point is good. Marquise Williams with another touchdown and over 1,000 yards of total offense in the last 3 games. Is our score from Sun Life Stadium this afternoon. Nick Weiler ready to kick off after Marquise Williams has just scored for the Tar Heels. Coley goes back into the end zone and puts it down, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Well, our PNC hardest working player of the game. Pretty good pick.
Yeah, Dallas Crawford, a guy that in this game a year ago rushed the ball 33 times for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns after Duke Johnson was hurt early in the game with a concussion. He came here as a defensive back. Has since moved back to DB as a big-time contributor on special teams. He's also does an unbelievable job in the community. One of the really good guys on this football team, but an unbelievable performance for him. Career highs last year running the football for the Canes.
Yeah, he's also the holder on kicks. As you said, he ran for almost 600 yards and 12 touchdowns last year. He's played wide receiver, tailback, wildcat, quarterback. Now he goes over to the defense.
Yeah, big contributor as a special teams unit as well. I mean, he's a team type player, and Al really raved about it.
PNC Bank hardest working player. As we look at Jake Heaps, who comes into the ball game now at quarterback, a 6'1", 208-pound graduate student. Of course, everybody knows Stephen Morris was quarterback last year. Ryan Williams suffered that ACL tear in the spring. Brad Kaya came on, and Jake Heaps continues to play.
Yeah, Heaps played at Kansas, played at BYU. This is a guy that's got a number of starts under his belt because as a graduate was able to transfer with no sitting out scenario. So Heaps brings in a wealth of talent. Started 25, wealth of experience. Started 25 career games, 16 of those at BYU, 9 at Kansas. He's thrown for over 5,000 yards in his career in college. 55% completion percentage. So this is a guy that if you had to hand the football to a guy, this is a guy who's played a lot of football.
He's thick too. He's a big kid, 6'1", 210 pounds. Only 5 for 10 this year, has not really played that much. Hands it off straight ahead. They'll be short of the first down. Farmer made a nice play. Jones was in there as well.
Yeah, really no secret. Miami going to run the football. North Carolina does a good job of really creating a problem along the front, getting them blocked, and good play by Farmer, as you mentioned.
How about Kaya? Puts on his visor. Now he's signaling the play, staying involved, staying engaged, continuing to learn. Let's bring up 4th down. Ryan Switzer will be your return guy. You get a look at him right there. He'll be just inside his 30 at about the 27-yard line. Justin Vogel, the former walk-on, the sophomore, the transfer from Florida, is your punter. Boy, he gets off a beauty too. Switzer all the way back to the 10. Back to the 5. Great coverage by the Hurricanes. And there is a flag down. Tracy Howard got down there, made the tackle.
Matt Collins, the wide receiver from North Carolina, was tangled up with a Miami player on that play, and that's where the flag came up.
Dead ball after the play. Dead ball personal foul, number 2, Miami. Grabbing the face mask, causing the helmet to come off. That's a 15-yard penalty. Had it from the end of the play. First down.
Well, throughout most of the ACC footprint today, it's been cold and windy, but not here. South Florida, rocking. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. All right, Tom, thank you very much. Incredible game there. Duke goes to 3-1 in the Coastal. Miami trying to stay just one game back, trying to win here today to go to 3-2, and they're in complete control. Here's what we're talking about. These are the updated standings. 3-1 in conference is Duke, and look behind it. Boy, there is a muddle in the middle. Everybody trying to stay within arm's reach of the Devils.
Well, unbelievable performance by Duke. Jamison Crowder has a monster day. Goes past Sammy Watkins for second all-time in the ACC in receptions for a career. How about James Conner, the Terminator, 263 yards rushing.
Conner had 263. Crowder,
by the way, Tim,
9 catches.
If you go to the last 2 games, they're going to have to go to another overtime because it's 106 to 106 between these 2 teams in the last 2 games.
That's unbelievable.
Got to go to another overtime. They haven't settled anything.
Keep them going. Let the party continue. 3rd down. Carolina throwing underneath. Boy, he was wide open. There's nobody over there, and Francis couldn't stay in bounds to try to get that first.
Yeah, a little situational awareness right there for Chris Francis. Hasn't played a ton. He's that number 3 guy on the roster as far as the backs go. Got to know where you are on the field so you can catch that football and get north and south. Just kind of lost where he was, fell out of bounds.
Wind has played some havoc with the kicking game today. And as they prepare here, Tommy Hibbert will kick it. Stacy Coley's been looking for a big return today, and he hadn't been able to get it. Good coverage here, and he calls for the fair catch. Hey fans, don't forget ACC football. The championship weekend is coming up in Charlotte. It's December 5th and 6th. Now on Friday, the ACC Night of Legends will honor this year's class. Boy, what a great night that is. All the legends are in town. It's their version of the Hall of Fame. Then on Saturday morning, the championship chase, 5K. That gets the day rolling with the ACC Fan Fest and the title game that night. It's a lot of fun. For details on all football championship weekend events and tickets, visit theacc.com. Here's the give and the run by Yerby, and Yerby is out across the 45-yard line. Big run by Joe Yerby, and he's having a terrific performance here after Duke Johnson stole the show early.
Yeah, they really the story of the offensive line. You know, really good job by Duke Johnson and good job by Yerby running the football. How about the offensive line? Offensive line's been outstanding today. Really controlled the line of scrimmage, and of course Brad Kaya, the freshman. How about that? That's pretty efficient, huh? Throw the ball 17 times, complete 11 of them. Doesn't turn the football over. Only turned the ball over twice in the last 5 games for Miami.
Deeks throws a completion up near the first down marker, and you make a great point, Arch. Not only about Kaya, but about that offensive line. And when you think that Eric Flowers, perhaps their best offensive lineman, the backside tackle, the blindside guy, is out, boy, just give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, didn't miss a beat. Trevor Darling steps in. They move Feliciano over to left, and Darling stepped in at right, the freshman. And you talk about another guy from Miami Central. That's Trevor Darling. You talk about a guy that blocked for a guy like Yerby. That was Trevor Darling, who's now part of this offensive line.
Yeah, good point. Another true freshman who will be here for years. And another guy they think can play at the next level as well. Not much for Tucker. Walter Tucker runs into his own guy. Let's go down to Rachel. She's got more on the game Brad Kaya's played.
Well, you guys have talked about the stellar performance he's had today. Guys, I got a chance to chat with him this week. He's a Southern Cal kid. He told me a lot of colleges had him down as his second choice quarterback. And he came here and committed here because he committed to Coley, the offensive coordinator, the very first time. It was the first commitment. And those colleges, USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon State, they came back and they wanted him later, but he honored his commitment to Miami.
Yeah, he's a good kid. There's no question about it. And he was a 4-star prospect out there in California, ranked as a top 10 pro-style quarterback coming out of high school. And another big day today.
Well, he went to Chaminade Madonna High School, West Hills, California, threw for just under 4,000 yards and 27 touchdowns as a senior. But when you figure him coming to Miami, Ryan Williams is going to be the guy. Okay, he's going to be the quarterback, and the next thing you know, Williams goes down, and then Heaps is the transfer, and here comes the freshman, and the next thing you know, Kaya surfaces as the guy. And he has just continued to get better each and every week. And to hear the coaches talk about it, talk about him being one of those guys that when you look up, you're not sure if this is junior or senior you're talking to.
Yeah. You know, Archie, we're talking about some of the players, some of the young players, and Brad Kaya specifically, but you look around today, other than the crowd, it's felt like the old Miami again. I mean, we had the Ring of Honor. You had Jerome Brown and Russell Maryland go into the Ring of Honor. You had Jimmy Kelly here. Jim, of course, one of the most loyal, caring, competitive guys you'll ever want to meet. He battled cancer and seems to be on top of that right now. He's a fighter, but he was the honorary captain today. It actually felt like being back at Miami.
Well, and I would think in 2 weeks now, Tim, when the Seminoles roll into town, that has a chance to be a heck of a scene. That's going to be a heck of a scene, and I would think that Miami would be heavily represented without him.
Well, you would hope so, because Al Golden has done a terrific job down here, and certainly the big problem have been the NCAA sanctions, which happened before Al Golden got here, but he's worked him through it, guided him through it, brought him back, and he's on the way north. Talk about Jim Kelly and Kelly Tuffer. Jim Kelly.
Well, Jim is they get some shirts and things that have been printed up. It's printed up here in the stadium, Kelly Tuff, and I'll tell you what, it's not just because, I mean, that's who he was prior to the cancer, okay? And anybody that knew Jim Kelly really knew that he was going to fight it. If anybody's going to fight it, there's been a lot of unbelievable fights by people with the dreaded disease that cancer is. But Kelly is one of those guys. He's a nails guy now. He was going to fight it tooth and nail. He had great support by his family as well.
Dangerous play. Trubisky pitched back to Francis, and he was dangerously close to being caught in an end zone. I remember Jim Kelly when he played with the Houston Gamblers, and we used to do those games. That was Mouse Davis in the run and shoot. He didn't have a tight end, so if any time he had guys covered, he was getting sacked. He got sacked more than 40 times that year. You talk about tough. Oh my.
And he doesn't get enough credit for what he did in that K-gun offense that he had for Marv Levy in Buffalo. He had 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yep.
He ran the show in that no-huddle offense. You talk about up-tempo offense, there's a guy that ran an up-tempo offense in the NFL.
Carolina facing 3rd down and 8. Trubisky throws deep and has a man. 1st down, North Carolina. One of the biggest plays, one of the best plays we've seen all day. Washington with the catch.
Well, that's a heck of a catch by Damian Washington on that fade route. He had to adjust in the air, caught that, kept his feet in bounds.
And again, throws over the middle. This is complete to Singleton. And Singleton is down inside the 35. And again, you've got to give them credit, Arch, for not quitting today. They were down big at half. Game was over early, and here it is 47-20, and they continue to bang away.
Yeah, doing a good job of continuing to compete. Trubisky's come in, and he's done a nice job throwing the football. A couple of good catches.
Steps up, avoids the pressure, crosses the line of scrimmage, and now runs out of bounds. Came in last week, of course, at Virginia with the game on the line when the helmet came off of Marquise Williams. 1 play, 1 pass, 1 touchdown. Closed captioning for ACC football brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time.
Trubisky, the redshirt freshman, kind of waiting in the wings. Marquise Williams is the guy here, but another celebrated high school quarterback out of Ohio. Over 4,000 yards passing.
Avoids the rush again and throws it out of bounds. Does a nice job, Trubisky does. Redshirt freshman.
He fits the mold, too, as another guy that ran the football extremely well in high school, as well as Larry Fedora in his Fred spread offense would like to incorporate the run game. The quarterback, he wants an athlete on the field, an 11th athlete on the field that you got to defend. You look at North Carolina's upcoming schedule. Pitt coming in off a tough loss to Duke, and then of course their matchup with Duke after that.
Trubisky faced with another third down, steps up into the pocket, throws into the corner, incomplete, intended for Switzer. Good coverage by Antonio Crawford.
Yeah, and I think the North Carolina bench was looking for potentially a flag here. It looked like Crawford did a pretty good job of staying off of Switzer here. Let's see if he does. As Switzer tries to gear down to try to catch that underthrown ball. Have to tell there.
Let's bring up fourth down. Chris Francis, the lone setback behind Trubisky. Trying to get one more tally before this thing ends. Play pack down to 5. Trubisky throws into the flats, and it's almost intercepted. Jermaine Grace had his hands on it, couldn't pull it in.
Yeah, and Dallas Crawford standing there going, wait a minute, I could have intercepted a pass.
Take another look at Duke Johnson. You were mentioning with the Heisman earlier. How about this performance today?
Well, he's been spectacular today. He hurt him in every way possible, running the football initially, and then, of course, his ability to catch the football out of the backfield, the screen there. This was the 90-yard touchdown that really blew the doors off of it here by Duke Johnson. There's the career numbers. Look at that. Talk about just went by Edgerrin James and James Jackson, and now squarely in his sights, the great Otis Anderson.
And he's reeling him in. And I go back to what I said earlier. If he hadn't had that fractured ankle last year, just think of the numbers he would have right now. His numbers today impressive. 177 yards. Now, if you go back the last 3 games, he had 335 against Cincinnati, 364 at Virginia Tech, and today, huge day.
Yeah, another big day, 226 yards, and he's putting the ball in the end zone as well. 4 rushing touchdowns over those 3 games, 2 receiving touchdowns. He's doing it in every possible way to help his team get wins. And
yeah, I mean, if you go away from total offense and just look at the rushing, I mean, he had the 249 last week, 162 against Cincinnati, 177 here today. Just continues to contribute.
While he continues to move. One last thing on that. I mean, if he wants to put his name firmly in the hat, if you will, for the Heisman consideration and to be in New York, it's going to be about what he does against Florida State in a couple of weeks.
Well, next Saturday, one of these 2 games, Arch and I will be a part of as we continue to follow the situation here. Duke wins today in overtime up in Pitt. What an outstanding game that was. They'll be at Syracuse as they chase the Coastal Division title. Miami still very much in the hunt as Miami goes to 3-2 in the Coastal Division. Well, 47 points today made the difference. You've been watching coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. For Dave Archer, Rachel Barbeau, I'm Tim Brandt saying so long from Miami. Once again, the final score, 47-20, Miami.